Jason.
Hi, I'm Stefan.
Hi, I'm Josh.
We are in a band called Consider the Birds, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about the first song on the album, the EP rather, called The Offer. Within the 4 songs, you have a story of sin and redemption, and with The Offer, it is the temptation. It's the carnival. It's the sort of evil carnival, right? What do you say?
The sales pitch.
It's the sales pitch. It's the offer. It's what it's called. And
It's very literally named.
Yeah. Starts off with basically you have the character of Satan, and just twisting words. We're starting off just twisting these words of like how great is this thing that he's giving, this sin, this life, this way of doing things. But it's so like Satan to give you a glimpse of a good thing intermixed with this bad thing, and it just spirals into this really bad thing called a life of sin.
Pile on.
Yeah. And so you have kind of throughout the 4 songs, the vocals are sung sometimes as Satan, and we try to do a good job of differentiating between whether or not it's our main character or whether or not it is Satan. And this first song, you have a little bit of both. And so hopefully you can get a glimpse of when that is happening, because it's more of a, in the first song, oh my God, what have I done? That's obviously not Satan, because you get this glimpse of remorse from our main character.
Well, when we were mixing this EP, we were very deliberate in the way that we made voices sound. Like, for example, if you listen at the very beginning of The Offer to where Satan's voice come in, it sounds normal-ish. Like there's something off about it, and we did that on purpose so that there's a differentiation between the different characters, as well as knowing that that Satan kind of comes like a, what is the Bible verse?
An angel of light.
Yeah, it's like, salesman is just a salesman. You see hundreds of them throughout your lifetime, so who really cares? It's just another salesman.
Not to say that you're bad if you are a salesman.
My dad's a salesman.
I'm a salesman.
Rush talked about salesmen.
Salesman!
But, by doing that, just listen. There's something a little off, and we did that on purpose.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting as we were progressing and writing the song, because it naturally starts out without lyrics, and just kind of how it starts out with this weird organ, and it's almost supposed to symbolize, like, it sounds like it's coming through a radio, and so it's like you're sitting in your room, and the devil comes to you and says, check this out. And, whenever he talks about sin, it's never, oh, you should do this, is bad, but it's like, don't you deserve this? Like, you've been hurt, and he plays off of weaknesses or things you've had in your past. And so there's a point where it goes from sounding like you're in your room to almost like you're being carried away by this carnival. And you're like being dragged into this show. And it switches to our main character. It says, I deserve this, don't I? And it's one of 2, I guess I call them snake bass lines in there. Like the Snake Charmer bass line. Because it's like boo-doo-doo-doo, and it's kind of like this. It reminds me of like someone like hypnotizing you and like showing you something.
It reminds you of that, definitely.
Definitely reminds me of that.
I hope it reminds you of that.
But there's a point where we're all singing kind of like about areas that like sin affects us. Because there's a point where like Jason's singing, "I deserve this, don't I?" And Josh and I are putting other vocals in there that.
Yeah. What is yours?
Mine says, "Make all this pain go away," which is something where, like, you sin because you want some hurt to go away. You want to feel numb.
Right.
And yours was?
Why am I not worthy? Because, even as Christians, we struggle with always feeling worthy of God's love and forgiveness of sin, and it's something I struggle with a lot, so...
Every day.
That's why I sing about it.
But there's a part, so after it goes to this, there's a part where everything stops, and it's a cool couple little musical things that it drops down to an acoustic, And the acoustic guitar part is actually the bass line from the beginning, where it sounds like you're being carried away. So it's bringing this continuity of like this thing that seemed really fun and like it just kind of you got caught up in is now this really lonely sounding moment.
I love that part of it, by the way.
And then, of course, you'll notice the laughter comes in, which is really creepy. And it's supposed to sound that way because, like, for me, when I struggle with sin, like, there's a moment where you choose sin, and as soon as you choose it, like, I feel like this brokenness and, like, this loneliness, like I've failed, like, and I'm just a total failure. And that laughter is supposed to symbolize that, you know, like...
Well, and it does. It's very accusatory laughter.
Yeah. It definitely is. It reminds you, like, the pit of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it starts off with Skylar's sort of, like, like, weird laugh, but then it goes into, like, Josh's, like, oh my gosh.
I have that huge...
What is he?
Yeah, like the guffaw.
Yeah.
Do it?
Yeah.
I don't know how I did it before.
It's really, he has a really creepy laugh.
I can get creepy.
We got into a weird space. We were all in a room
Yeah, it was
with
all
the lights off.
Yeah.
There was literally 6 of us. Our friend Ryan was actually there too.
Ryan Flake, shout out.
We're all standing in one room around a mic at varying distances and just laughing our heads off. And I think it actually went really well because later on you can tell we're all really forcing ourselves to laugh because it had gone on for so long and we still needed more.
Yeah.
But it was cool. You know, it was. And then we took it, and then in post, I warped the ever-living crud out of it. There's delays, and I think there's like a rotary speaker cabinet thing on them, and there's, you know, different reverbs and...
Some weird crap happening.
Yeah, but it's cool. Anyway, laughter.
And so there's... Sorry, I don't mean to keep talking.
No.
So after this laughter, like, the acoustic kind of goes from this weird radio sound into this really hollow, or it's really like, it sounds like in a big room, and there's all these weird sound effects. And so the picture that I kind of had in my mind when we were all writing this music together, that it was like, so you're in this room watching this guy kind of like show you this prize, this sin, and as soon as you decide you want it, it's like you're in this room and there's just a spotlight on you, and as they laugh and as these sounds start coming in, it's like this room is getting bigger and bigger, and you're just becoming more lonely feeling.
Which we've all seen that. That's, you know, it's that classic Hollywood, you're embarrassed because you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden you're on a stage and it's that spotlight and you hear laughter. I mean, it's in lots of movies.
It's true.
So
Underwear in your dream.
Yeah, and that'd be good.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
I'm wearing a banana suit. Anyway.
Banana Man.
And then it comes back in, and you actually, your vocals on that were really good. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, the oh my god, what have I done?
Yeah.
That's when it comes in, oh my god. And it is not an oh my god, OMG. It is a oh
Baseball.
my god. Crying out to God. Definitely a comma in there. Hope that you hear that comma.
Jason is very concerned
my.
that people don't think he's using God's
The
name
words
in
in
vain.
vain.
Yeah.
So
'Cause
yeah,
that's definitely not what...
kind of like how the psalmist would do it, you know, just really crying out to God, not because of anything that God imposed on them in this case, or anything that maybe the world imposed on them by choice, but still being in that dark place, in that lonely place, and man, I've been there before, where I've just done really dumb things, and I needed God to rescue me in those moments. Have you guys ever done anything like?
No, dude, I'm never. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've
guess
never
it's
needed
me.
rescuing.
It's just me, and I've made a couple mistakes in my life, but God is good.
Fact.
Truth.
Oh my God, what have I done? I'm the weakest of your sons. Yes.
It's a really well put, especially at the end of the phrase, it goes into this weird affected thing where it's like, oh my God, and it's just you feel it, there's just this broken remorse there.
Thank you.
It was really good.
It definitely
Guys.
works.
And it's cool at the end of it, because it kind of brings after all that, all the drums fade out, and it brings you back into the room you were in.
This is my favorite part of the song, by the way. This
It,
instrumental part that you're talking about.
yeah, it brings you back. So it kind of goes back into sound like it's on a radio.
Mhm.
So like, basically, it's implying that this whole like sales of sin and this whole taking of sin was not necessarily something that you did, but a choice that you made. And so you're still back where you were, but now you have this guilt that you're dealing with.
When you're still in your apartment,
Mm-hmm.
like you haven't left. Like the whole point is not like you went on this magical journey, like Peter Pan came and put, pixie dust on you and you flew out the window. It's like you're sitting in a chair and you made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, and there's even a point where, you get up and you can hear in the song you have the organ going, and then the beginning of the song where you're being carried away, you can hear that on the radio kind of go from like left to right, or right to left,
Right
like
to left,
like you're walking past the radio, still hearing the sales pitch. And like for me, and this occurs a couple times on the EP, like when I feel bad about something, like I write. Like it's a catharsis. It's a good way to deal with these things. And so that's the end of the song. And actually, because we recorded me walking through a room and sitting down at a desk. I actually tripped over my guitar.
Yeah, yeah, and you can hear it in there.
You can hear a little bump in there.
And then you cough, right?
Yeah. No, what?
That was Skylar, actually, I
It
think.
was Skylar coughing.
Yeah.
There's a cough.
Are
Are we on to song 2 right now?
No, not yet.
No.
And then at the end of it, basically, you sit down at a piano, and it's kind of like this weightiness, and you just take a deep breath, and then the next song starts.
Yeah.
So, that's the offer. We hope you enjoyed our explanation and it helps you understand our song a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And please watch the other videos of the explanations of the other tunes. We'd love for you to interact with us as well. If you have questions, feel free to email us or get in touch with us on Facebook or Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd be very happy to interact with you.
Yep.
Thanks so much.